I like to just write characters that feel real. That's kind of my drive, is I want characters that could be real people if they stepped out of the page.
Welcome, Danielle, to Words for Charity, and congratulations on winning the Benevolent Quill Grant. When you first found out about Words for Charity, did you see it as an opportunity to be published in a curated collection or as a way to use your talents and work to benefit charities?
I saw it as both. When I heard about it, I had already taken a creative writing class, and I always knew that when I write, I want my writing to do something good for an organization, for people in general. So I saw it as, hey, this is an opportunity for me to be published, but this is also a chance for me to do something good for other people. And so I couldn't say no when I found out about it. It just seemed like too perfect of an opportunity for me to pass up.
Danielle, why did you choose Newborns in Need for your charity?
Well, I love children. I love babies, and I think on a more serious note, they are one of the most vulnerable groups of people in the world. So when I saw the list and that was on there, I couldn't say no to helping a group of people that I do care about very deeply. I have a lot of siblings, I have a lot of younger cousins, and to think if they were in that situation and they needed help, I would want someone to do the same for them.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 2 younger brothers and a younger sister.
So you're the oldest.
I am the oldest.
Have you shared your stories on Words for Charity through social media?
I found it easier saying it through word of mouth and being able to explain it more to people rather than just in a short social media post, because typically I would get questions about it and I felt more comfortable answering in person rather than making a post on social media and then people coming to me later asking me about it. So I was easier to just, in my community, to just say things about it and explain more in depth.
You said next time. Does this mean we can look forward to more stories from you?
I have a few ideas I've been turning over, and I would be willing to sit down and go through them, and I would like to continue doing this. I think it's a very good opportunity, not really for me so much as it is for charities, and I like contributing, so I would like to do it again.
Nice. So, was this your first short story you've written?
It's not my first, but I would say it's one of my better ones.
As you're refining your short story format, what do you enjoy most about the short story form and what sets it apart?
What I like most about the short story format is when I get an idea, typically that idea spirals out into something a lot bigger. And I then have a giant outline to look at and say, okay, what do I want to do with this? But short stories give me this opportunity that I can take one scene, one small part, and write it out and get it down. And while it does end, and it has an ending, I look at it as a way of one day I might go back to it and say, how can I expand this into something bigger if I really want to? So I get the opportunity to tell a complete story, but I also know in the back of my mind there might be a chance for me to do more with this if I want to.
Beautiful. That was a beautiful answer. Very concise. Writing can be difficult to start, let alone master. Have you got any tips for beginner writers or those who are struggling to start or finish a story?
What I would tell beginning writers is, for sure, write what you want to write. Write like no one's watching and don't worry about anyone else. Because you're not going to get any better if you don't start. So what I did when I started is I wrote what I wanted to hear, what I wanted to read. And what you'll find later is, someone else out there is going to be interested in the same things. And if you're struggling to finish, don't worry about it being perfect. Go over it. You can go over it many, many times, but you have to just keep going, because if it's not done, it's never going to get done.
I really, really enjoyed those stories.
Thanks.
It was very entertaining, very engrossing, very emotional to me. Did you pull from your own life experiences for ghost stories or any of your other shorts?
For ghost stories, especially, when I write, everything I write has some part of me in it, whether it is the characters, the setting, or just my own interests. Even if I don't realize it in the moment, when I go back, I can see how a part of myself and how I've been influenced has taken part in my stories. That one in particular, my grandfather had passed away about a month before I wrote that story. So I know that it very much directly influenced where that story came from in a small way. And I've always been interested in ghost stories in general, so I kind of found a way to put both together.
I think where it affected me the most from a reader standpoint is the teenager, that feeling of being a teenager and not being listened to. And I think most teenagers struggle with that at some point in their teenage life. And that really spoke to me, how she was walking through the graveyard because she just wanted somebody to listen to her, which was very, very spot on for me as a teenager. How do you see Words for Charity benefiting your own brand?
Well, I want my writing to do something good in the world, whether that is personal for anybody who's struggling, or I want them to see a piece of themselves in my work, and I hope that it helps somebody someday. But on a bigger note, I see it as an opportunity to continue doing charity work. If my stories can benefit someone, then I want it to be able to happen. I want to be published, of course. I want to spread my stories and be creative, but when it comes back to it, if it's helping somebody else, that is really what's important to me.
Very nice. It's kind of like a win-win strategy, which is wonderful. How has this Words for Charity experience affected you as a writer and as a person?
As a writer, I've been able to sit back and get feedback from people on what to change. So I've gotten to look at my writing differently than just turning in an assignment for school or something, where I do get feedback, but I'm getting it from people that are looking to publish my work and what they're looking for, and kind of hold it up to a higher standard in a way, which I do appreciate. I get to look at it through those eyes. But I also have dipped my feet into publishing, and it's shown me that I can achieve what I want through writing in ways that I didn't realize that I could before. I can do something that's going to help someone and do what I love, and that's extremely important to me, that I can have both.
Nice. We were talking about feedback. Did you get any interesting feedback or anything surprising from the people that read your stories?
It was a little strange to share my stories because up until that point, I don't think I'd ever shared anything with my parents or my siblings or a few of my friends, but not many. So as much as they knew that I liked to write, they had not read it. So it was weirdly vulnerable for a minute there because I knew that everyone was going to be reading it. But to hear them say that they enjoyed it and that they had questions and they wanted to know more, that was when it kind of hit me that, oh, I can do this, and that I can do this. I had much more faith in myself than I did previously. So it was a good experience.
Nice. What advice would you give to our next round of story donators?
I would say don't be discouraged. If you have an idea, write it down, and that it's a great opportunity for not just yourself, but for other people. And that people will work with you, that this is an organization that does really good work for people that need it, and it's worth every second of trying to do it. So give it a shot. Don't be discouraged.
Thank you. What's next for Danielle DiNatale?
Well, right now I am finishing my senior year of college, so I'm planning to graduate in May. And in between, I'm working on short stories and novels, and I'm going to keep trying to get published, whether it's for Words for Charity or something a little bigger.